So Utah County, we've got a 0.5% reached with the gospel, born again believers. 0.5% is 1 in 200. So for every 200 people represented, there's only one born again believer. And then we have 2 universities here, BYU and UVU. On the campus there, it's 0.15% reached. That is 1 in 800. I can tell you this number rivals only places like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Iraq, Iran. When we think about 0.15%, there are only a very, very few pockets of our world that are in that range of unreached. But that's the reality of here.
From the moment that you spoke light into darkness, all time and space began its course.
Just tell me a little bit about what happened today.
So today, we went outside of BYU campus and just sparked some conversation with some of the students there and just attempted to spread some truth in their lives. And it was both encouraging and discouraging because it was really cool just to talk to these people and talk about religion and talk about their beliefs and everything and plant that seed. But it's so hard just experiencing these people that are just so blinded to the truth. And it was just overall an awesome experience just be able to encounter these people and be tested and just do something that we should be doing all the time and just spreading the love of Jesus Christ.
So we're out here in Provo, Utah, just trying to engage people in conversation, people of the LDS faith, or in Arkansas we might know them as like people of the Mormon faith, but they refer to themselves and prefer to be referred to as LDS, the Latter-day Saints. A lot of us even here on this trip didn't realize the differences between what they believe and what we believe until we really started researching and preparing for this trip. But it is different. It's so different to the point that we need to be out here sharing, because as they are right now, they don't know Jesus. They don't know the truth, and we want them to. It's hard though.
I'm very much used to going on mission trips where we show our faith through work, and the whole point of this mission trip is to show our faith through actually speaking the truth. And it's just been very difficult. Everybody that I'm talking to thinks they believe the same thing as me, but really they're just lost. It's completely different, and it's just really sad.
I loved how the guy that's leading the whole thing with us, he just really explains to us just how these people really are lost, even though they talk about how they believe in the same God and the same Jesus that we do and how they're the same as us. I mean, they're in the dark, they really are.
In their minds, they have to work to gain God's righteousness. And we discussed one day on this trip while we were touring the campus that the suicide rates in the LDS believers are extremely high, and it's because whenever you have to work to please an all perfect and all powerful God, you're never gonna fully succeed that. And I think that's kind of what they struggle to understand, is that His righteousness and mercy and grace goes beyond what anything we could ever imagine.
I got to have a conversation with a kid named Cooper, and he, at the beginning of our conversation, was pretty clearly what we would call a one, or just someone who knows what they believe and is not interested in talking about anything else. And yet, by the end of our conversation, not necessarily anything specific I said, but he was beginning to consider things about his faith that may differ from what the Bible says. And he didn't seem to have encountered that much in his life.
I spoke to a girl about what it means to be righteous to her, and in her mind she said, as long as you keep doing better, and as long as you keep trying and keep turning towards God, then it's okay, kind of thing. And she was like, is that kind of what you mean? And she, I guess, did not get the concept that when Jesus Christ died on the cross for us, that we were already made righteous because of that, and we're already made perfect and adequate to come before the Lord. And so that, I think, was hard for her to grasp. Honestly, I think this has definitely opened my eyes a lot.
We didn't see people come to know Christ just because of what we were doing here. But that being said, we planted a seed. We had over 50 gospel conversations this week. It's really impressive to see what you can do when you're being intentional about loving people, walking alongside them, and leading them to Jesus. So I guess the last thing we have to acknowledge is how we go back home to Jonesboro and go back to how our lives have always been. And I guess the answer is we don't.